Hello and welcome to London Visited Coffee. So, you've probably noticed it's slightly different this week with our coffee. And that's because I'm not sitting in front of the camera and talking to you. But that is all part of the story and the visit to Alaia down New Bond Street. So, yeah, it's going to be slightly different. So, let me tell you what happened from the very beginning. Now, one of the things that I would do is sit back and have a look at the socials during the weeks or a couple of weeks beforehand and see what's going on in London. And one that caught my eye was a reel showing a brand new coffee destination in New Bond Street. Well, Bond Street isn't exactly known for its coffee areas, and actually the only one that I've been to before is Ralph's, which is outside Ralph Lauren's, and it's a cafe place there. And the coffee is, well, say the least, a little bit on the side. So I thought, do you know what? A new place, we're going to have to try it out. So anyway, I carried on watching the social, which was about a 50-second reel saying how fantastic this new place was, this new destination called Alaia in New Bond Street. Now, it should have been a bit of a red flag because what it actually shows in the reel is the lady that's commentating and talking about how fantastic this coffee shop is seen walking into this fashion house. She's seen going up the stairs while she's talking about this great fashion destination, but also this great coffee shop upstairs with this superb bookshop. But there isn't any imagery of either the cafe or the drink that she's actually having. But that comes up a little bit later. So let me tell you about our visit to Alaia. So Jaden and I were in London and we were doing some bits, and I said to him, tell you what, we've got this new place. Let's go down New Bond Street. Now, Bond Street itself is always a great place to go and have a look in the windows and see what they've got going on there. So I said to Jaden, right, let's go find this place. We had a look on Google Maps and it's right opposite Sotheby's. So an area of London we know really well and just round the corner from Bond Street Station. Now, when we turned up at Alaia, and you've seen the footage already, or by the way, please excuse the footage. The footage we've got is limited, and it's limited to both photographs and also videos that we took surreptitiously. Because we got told off when we were in there. More of that in just a couple of seconds. But when we turned up, it was one of these fashion places with a bouncer on the door, which is quite common for new and old Bond Street. But actually, if you're advertising you've got a coffee shop and actually making money from the coffee shop that's in there, you would think maybe not to have the bouncers. Anyway, Jaden and I looked at each other and went, is this really the place? We agreed it was. We looked it up again on social media, and there it was. It was definitely Alaia in New Bond Street. We looked at the bouncer, looked at each other. I said, come on, follow me. Off we go to go and do our battle with the bouncer on the door. Bouncer on the door, really friendly guy, opened it up and said, yeah, we're here for the coffee shop. He said, off you go, and up you go through the spiral staircase, which again, you've seen probably a couple of times because unfortunately we're going to keep repeating some of the video. Up you go, and it's on the top floor. So Jaden and I went up the spiral staircase, got to the top, and there is the cafe and the bookshop. No more fashion. The fashions are on the ground floor and the first floor. But we got to the second floor, and there is the cafe. Now, the cafe, as you can see, is right at the back, and all they actually have to sit at is one big square silver table. With lots of people sitting around having coffee. So we found our perch, and then I went and ordered. Now, normally when you go to a cafe, and I go with Jaden, he either has a glass of milk, or alternatively he has a tap water, whilst I have the coffee and something else to eat, and he has something to eat as well. But when I actually asked for a tap water, the response was, no, sorry, we don't do tap water, but we do bottled water only. Yeah, you bet they do. I'll tell you what the bill is in just a couple of seconds for a coffee, a tap water, a cookie or large biscuit, and a scone. You have a guess. I'll tell you the price in just a couple of seconds. So anyway, we ordered, and they then brought the things to the table. And as bringing the things to the table, I was sitting there with Jaden with my phone out and talking to him. And the gentleman that brought it over, the waiter, then said, by the way, it's a policy. We do not do social media, so nothing is to be filmed to be placed onto stories or onto social media. At which point, Jaden and I looked at each other. We'd already committed and we'd already paid for our coffee, cookie, bottled water, large bottled water at that, and also my scones. Ready for the price? £30. Yes, £30. Quite not really a surprise that a lot of the things didn't have prices on, otherwise I could have tossed it up beforehand and gone, this is absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, don't forget we were here filming an experience because we wanted to bring a brand new coffee shop which had been highlighted on social media as the new place to come and have a coffee and a must try when you're in London. We'll go back to the story of learning from social media and from social media shorts a little bit later on that. So anyway, we were told immediately you're not allowed to film. At which point, Jade and I put our phones down, waited for people to disappear, and then got our phones out and filmed as much as is humanly possible, which is why you've got the stuff that you've got here. And I then did a coffee tasting. But what I did was I did a coffee tasting, noting down the quality of the coffee as we went through. So I can tell you for the aroma, it was a 3. It was okay. It had a nice smell, sort of a woody smell to it. Acidity, yeah, it's then starting to drop here. So the acidity was a 2. It was a very strong acidity which stayed on your tongue, and actually the only reason you went back for more is because actually you wanted to get rid of the acidity taste from the first time, but unfortunately it was still there. And the same with the sweetness as well. There wasn't much in the way of sweetness to sort of counteract that acidity, so I gave that a 2 as well. So far we're looking at an aroma of 3, an acidity of 2, a sweetness of 2. The body was okay, but it was just okay. I've had watery ones, I've had much better ones. So the body I gave as a 3. Now the aftertaste, so once you've had the coffee, and if you're a regular watcher of the channel you know exactly what we mean here, unfortunately that was a 2 as well, because once again that acidity really didn't give you much of an aftertaste. You just left that taste on your tongue, which gives us a total score of 12 for their coffee. So Alaia, I'm really sorry to say, 1, your social media policy, or if you want people to promote and talk about the great things that are happening here, yeah, it's not your best policy. Oh, and by the way, whilst we were in there, other people were being told off for taking photos of each other. There were some Japanese tourists there, and they were filming, and they were literally filming and also had professional camera, and they were told to put it down. So not overly good. The price is pretty rubbish as well. As a destination, I wouldn't bother. There are so many other great places, and in fact I have since discovered a coffee house which is no more than a 2-minute walk from here around the corner and just off Bond Street near Berkeley Square, and I'm going to bring that to you very shortly on this channel, which has superb coffee. But anyway, more about that in a future video. So that gives you the coffee score of 12. Now, some other things I want to bring out and highlight in this video is watching social media clips. Now, I don't know if the individual on the reel that I originally watched to get the idea of this place had been here and had some deal or some way of financial reward, etc., for making the video as they did, promoting it as a must-go-to destination. If they did, they've done a bad job. But it also highlights the issue here of taking small snippets of social media. So as you know, when we go and do a coffee review and we go and review a place, we tell you about the place. We see it, you can see what's going on from the background. We take a bit of a video clip as well, so you get a much better view of what's going on. Also, same with our London Visited videos. We do shorts, but actually normally you've seen the proper long video beforehand, and a short is just a sort of a confirmation of what you've seen already. So just be wary. If you're thinking of doing something and you're doing it off the back of a 15-second clip on social media, just look out for those red flags. If they're promoting something, if they're talking about something, in this case, the coffee and the coffee destination, but not really showing it, that's an immediate red flag. So I'm hoping that this has not just brought you a different coffee destination in a different way. Also, it's giving you an idea what to look out for if you're looking at social media and for recommendations on there as well. As an overview, would I go back there again? Without a shout, definitely not. The coffee was rubbish, and to pay £30 for what we paid for, and also to get told off, it's rubbish. Now, one of the other things I mentioned is it had a bookshop upstairs. When you go to the bookshop, these are books, probably called coffee table books. The books were £60 to £100 each. They're big photographic books, and never in a month of Sundays would a normal person buy books that you have in this place. And in fact, as soon as you touched a book, the person that was looking after the book department came straight over, tidied it up, and made sure everything was in pristine condition and put back again. So once again, you weren't made to feel that comfortable within it. So I'm hoping this just gives you an idea of Alaia coffee. If you're in Bond Street, go and have a look. It's in New Bond Street. It's opposite Sotheby's. Don't go in and have a look, but have a look from the outside, because you'd never guess there was a coffee shop in there, but you probably never want to guess there's a coffee shop in there as well. Let's put this down to experience. It's certainly an experience not to go for again. Thanks for watching. I'm going to leave you now with a coffee destination that we've been to, which is a really good one, and it's up in the top right-hand corner. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.